My husband is yet to add my name to his properties as he promised before we got married. Can I sue him for breach of promise? I understand how painful it can be for one to be promised something and at the end the person refuses to do it. I understand how painful that can be. However, from what you said, those properties are your husband's properties. Therefore, he has every right to do whatever thing he pleases with those properties. There is no law that will force him to add your name to those properties if he doesn't want to do that. But one thing I want you to understand is that instead of you working so hard on getting your husband to add your name to his properties, why not develop such effort? Why not put in such effort to make the marriage work? Because from what you're saying, from what you're doing, it seems as if your target is just the properties, not the marriage to work. So your effort should be, how do I make this marriage to work? How do I make this man happy? When you do the right thing, when you make him happy, on his own, he will add your name to his properties. And let me remind you that in terms of divorce, the properties the man acquired before the marriage doesn't add up. So if you're thinking that maybe the properties he had before he got married to you, in the case of divorce, that the properties will be splitted into two, it will not, except he has your name on those properties of his. That is the only way, in terms of divorce, that those properties that he acquired before marriage will be splitted. Again, if you really want to sue him for promising you and at the end failed to do that, if you have evidence that he actually promised you that in a way of maybe an agreement that it was documented, you can present that document. With that, you can sue him, for failing to fulfill the promise that he made to you. But just like I said earlier on, instead of working so hard to get your name into his document, work hard to make the marriage to work. Get yourself into his heart. Once you get yourself into his heart, automatically he will add your name to his properties. And if I may ask, your husband's properties, whose properties are there as well? Is your husband's property not yours? Develop the mindset of working towards making the marriage to work, not getting your name into his properties. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. My name is Matthias, and I make educative videos.